Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to round 4 of the ESR ACC GT Challenge Series. I am your host, Cole McCray. We are joined, as always, by Ayrton Tobin, the
Hello.
famed Academy Director. Oh, sorry.
No.
Give us another hello really quick.
Hello.
Oh, forceful hello. I love it. But yes, so we are at the Silverstone GP circuit. Yes, I pronounced it Silverstone. Get over it. I'm not English enough. We have a pretty good sized field today. I think we had 28, if I remember correctly. Some of you who have been keeping up on the Academy series will recognize some of the newcomers in there appearing in this race. Looking at you, Mr. Valentine, among others. And so we got quite a race lined up today. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is the same track as in the Academy recently, and we're looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed. If it's anything like the Academy race this morning, it should be a great one.
I mean, luckily our drivers are so good that we don't normally even need to hope for that. I have no doubts that it'll end up being great. Up at the top, for some reason it's showing starting at 5th place. That's all right. We have Wesley Stokes and Matt Higgs, which is of course named as Richard Higgs, because why would he be? Why wouldn't he be? Anyhow, a quick roundup of the current championship point. We have Andrew Burke sitting up at the top, finally having overtaken Mike Stoffmeal, who now sits in 3rd. Alberto Hona splits the two with in 2nd place. We have Alexander Doro in 4th, Javier Eugeni in 5th place, Cliff Hemian in 6th, Rachel Guerin in 7th, Gianluca Di Luca in 8th, David Nelson in 9th, Matt/Richard Higgs, it could be either one at this point, in 10th. Quickly rounding up the next 10, we have Jeff, Chris Ramaker, Larry Foster, Carlo Dorazio, Robin Rotterdam, Javier Castaño Muñiz, Brandon Uyet, Dominic Turcotte, Rick Martel, and Sean Kenny, bringing up 20th place. So we're starting to get to that point in the championship where the battles are kind of sorting themselves out. I mean, obviously, that's not going to work out every single time. What with people getting different finishes every race, but things are kind of stabilizing. As I mentioned before, this is the first time we've seen Mike Stoffmeal not at the top since his withdrawal after round 2, which is a shame. You're mentioning earlier that we don't have any of the. He's almost like our foundation in some of these races. It's weird not to see Stoffmeal up there.
We're not having that, front marker out there showing the lap times, leading the way.
Yeah, bench. He's our benchmark usually, and now we're lost.
This race has no V-Sync on it. It's unhinged and running wild.
Well, it's okay. Martin just texted me saying I asked him if we could use our ESR administrator computer to do this watching, but he didn't respond fast enough, and he said, "Well, seeing as you already started watching the video, then I think you've assumed the answer. You're correct, Martin." So as we can see, our championship leader is sitting on the pole currently, Andy Burke, 157.741. A not insubstantial lead over the current person we're watching, Gianluca Di Luca. Yeah, I'm also noticing Archie in 10th. He was in the academy too, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're kind of blending together a little bit. I'm also seeing in 13th place B Stambuk. Not entirely sure who that is. He didn't appear on the what's it called, the roster, so it must be one of those names that hasn't gotten sorted out yet. Other than that, it looks like we got a veritable mix of our current stalwarts. Marco Silvestri had a tumultuous race a couple hours ago in the academy, looking to do pretty well on his own here. Of course, he's not running with the ballast that he usually would, or that he did in the academy, so I believe no one has ballast today.
Yeah, he had a pretty horrible day in the Academy race, but I'm looking a lot stronger here. Well, we'll see. He qualified well in the Academy race as well. It was just the race itself.
He did.
Was a mess.
I think he was high mid pack if I remember right, because he was the veterans seemed to be struggling. They had 50 kilograms of ballast,
Yes.
which is not an insubstantial amount. So I think the highest veteran we had qualify was 6th or 5th, something like that. There we go. Looks like Rachel Guerin is offering Sean Kenny some bubble wrap.
Sure, he'll
Taking a
accept
little,
it.
taking a little dig. You'd be a fool not to. The aerodynamic benefits of bubble wrap are well known.
Indeed.
Another person looking for a little bit of redemption is in 19th place, David Nelson. In this competition here, he's facing a little bit stiffer of opponents, but he's still doing reasonably well. So our qualifying order for this race, now that qualifying is finished, is as follows: Andrew Burke in first place, Gianluca De Luca in second, mirroring. Oh, actually, never mind. Excuse me. I forgot what I was talking about. Javier Castaño Muñoz in third, Albert Arjona in fourth, Gianmarco Silvestri in fifth. Oops, sorry, lost my place. Wesley Stokes in sixth, Matt Higgs seventh, Jeff in eighth, Dorazio in ninth, Archie in 10th, Javier Eugeni 11th, Sean Kenny 12th, Stenbook 13th, and Rachel Guerin 14th, Guerin in 14th, and James Butler rounding out our top 15. Falling behind that is Ramaker, Benvenuti, Foster, and Nelson, and that's all. Sadly, we can see for now. Just kidding. Dave Jones is next, so that's our top 20. We don't have the trio of Davids this time, do we?
I don't
We
think
have
not
Jones
here.
and Nelson. Who's the last one?
Jones, Nelson, and James.
Ah, yes, I forgot Jones and James. Well, their powers are usually strongest combined, so hopefully hopefully they can make the most of it. That's so Josh McLaughlin we see on the screen right now, sticking to the unconventional choice of Jaguar, but this time he's joined by Jeff, who is 2 spots behind. You can kind of see the nose of his car behind the HUD there. I've had a brief summary of the cars relatively as they sit with a position, but I've never heard anything about the Jaguar. Of note, in 9th place, Archie driving the only NSX in our race. I'll admit, over the last few seasons with John Barker driving that NSX,
Yeah.
my brain has been subliminally conditioned to fill in John Barker for any NSX. Very color coordinated top 6 slots, as we have the second and third place of Castaño Muñoz, Albert Arjona, and Silvestri and Stokes with their blue and orange and red and white cars, respectively. Not sure how I feel about the green bumper on Arjona's Porsche. I understand they're from the same team and they're different cars, so they have to have some color variation. But I'm not sure about the green. Kind of
I
looks a little
like
interesting.
it.
Seahawks green, right?
Something like that. They make it stand out nicely.
So this race starts with a rolling start, coming up to the last corner. So that's a short rolling start, which is especially interesting considering the academy was running with a full rolling start lap. And so as you can see up there, we're running with an hour race with a mandatory pit stop at with the pit windows centered around the halfway point. Looks like Dominic Turcott was not able to make it out of the starting gate and is starting from the pits. Anyhow, we are coming up to the start finish line. Green flag waving, green flag waving. We are in it for the 4th round of the ESR ACC GT Challenge.
Oh man! All right, Burt gets away cleanly.
Yeah, Burks just slides by DeLuca there. It is not so easy for Gianmarco Silvestri behind him. Looks like he edged out Stokes right before turn 1, but oh, the cameraman's having a rough time. I think he's off his meds a little bit.
My oh my, between the growing academy field and the rather small turnout this week, we're getting almost equal turnouts on the 2 series now.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, what was there 19 people in the academy this week?
18.
18. Close enough. So yeah, they're shoring up a little bit. So something happened. Oh no, looks like Higgs actually got by Wesley Stokes there when we weren't looking. Very sneaky little pass. Nothing too dramatic happening as of yet. The group is still bunched up pretty well. Looks like something happened with Javier Eugeni, who fell, looks to be I think 4 spots. But he was right behind Archie. Looking at Paul Hopp, who is battling with David Nelson, who's working his way through the field. We got someone going wide up there. It looks like it might be Nelson, actually. You'll see if we can see that red Ferrari in the background. Not that time. Whoa, Paul Hopp goes flying into, I believe that was the loop. Oh, we got another Ferrari turned around. Is that Benvenuti? Who's that?
What's going on there?
Can't tell. Looks like someone lost it around.
That might be Nelson.
It's possible. I've kind of lost track where they are. This might be the end of lap 1.
52, which I want. Or was that Silvestri? It was
Silvestri's
Silvestri!
falling. No, already.
Oh no!
Silvestri lost it in Brooklands. He did that 3 or 4 times in the academy race, so maybe that's just a touchy area for him in this track. Whoa, Sean Kenny is backwards.
That's an interesting shot.
Into maggots, the rear of Sean Kenny.
Not often you're looking out the rear of a car, but
there's
going the
3
right
cars
way.
off track. Looks to be
boy.
Kenny, mayhaps Dorazio. Is that Eugeni? No, it's not Eugeni. I was thinking Arjona. It's a Golf livery Porsche. We're not entirely sure. Nope, that's Arjona up here. And Burke and DeLuca fly away almost immediately. Wow.
Oh, very unfortunate start for Silvestri.
No kidding, no kidding. Echoing the academy race. Although he is still in 23rd, so he's holding it up. He's holding up the position moderately well. He did lose plenty of time, but this is lap 1. And Matt Higgs claws his way up to 4th, so passing by Wesley Stokes and Albert Arjona. As the grid continues to shuffle. Interesting that most of our accidents appearing to be happening on lap 2 this time. That normally doesn't happen. Looks like Archie is falling in dramatic fashion now, down to 21st place. The Honda NSX is one of the more stable cars, so maybe he got tapped. And it looks like you might have been right, Ayrton. David Nelson fell to 14th. Well, no, wait. No, isn't it up? No, he's up. Because he started in 18th, I believe. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Nope, that was, all Silvestri.
Yikes. I could have sworn something was going on with Hop as well, but...
We did see him go wide.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I meant to say I expected him to lose more than just that. Is that a Josh McLaughlin working his way up through the field there? Or is that a Jeff? No, it's Jeff.
Well, they're both pretty close. Yeah, that's Jeff, though.
Jeff, the wild card from season 3.
Oh, I see our results weren't scrolled all the way down. There's, in fact, a larger field than just 24.
Yeah, there was 28 at one point.
Larry Foster's in the pits, by the way. Something happened with him.
Yeah, it looks like it. And here we're coming up to Brooklands. Oh, no, it's not Brooklands. Where is that? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the most familiar person in the world with. Ooh, wow! So Cliff Hemian got a little bit dicey. I think that's Cliff Hemian. Unfortunately, this timing sheet is not the most up to date. It only updates at the beginning of every sector. So unfortunately, every position made in between can not be reflected there. Here's Josh McLaughlin, who's currently duking it out with Archie. Ooh, gotta say that Jaguar sounds very nice. Did not expect that to be such a high rever. Oh, and Archie goes for the hard dive into Brooklands. Josh McLaughlin is looking for a way around the inside or even the outside. We saw at the end of the Wellington Straight there that it might seem like the Jaguar is a little low on speed, on straight line speed at least. I can't confirm it. I haven't driven it, but that's what it seemed like, at least when we were looking back there. Oh, and we have 2 cars off right behind. Maybe
Oh my.
Silvestri went around again, it seems. May have something to do with Sean Kenny as well. Cannot be sure. In any case, McLaughlin is still hot on the tail of Archie. I was just going to mention Rachel Guerin. She made a move up from 11th to 10th in the last couple of minutes. So Rachel's, though, another one of our rising stars from the academy, graduating last season to quite some fanfare. Her and Nelson are both kind of our, or your, I suppose, because you're the series master, but the rising the stars, so to speak.
Ooh, nice livery.
So currently dishing it out to Benvenuti behind. So someone to keep your eye on a little bit is Matt Higgs up in 4th. He is on record. We had him in for an interview last race at Nürburgring, and he was on record saying that the Lamborghini that he drives would struggle at this track. I'm not one to call him a liar, but it seems like he's proving himself wrong a little bit there. Looking at Carlo Dorazio, who's defending against the dual powers of James Butler and Javier Eugeni.
Yeah, we saw Butler have some success with that today in the academy in this same race, same track.
Is he driving the same car? Yeah, I think he was
Yes,
driving
he
a
is.
Mercedes. Speaking of, there's Matt Higgs setting a 1:59.2 as his best lap. That's faster than any of the academy drivers we've seen, even in qualifying.
Which I just realized, how is he driving a Mercedes? The whole point of the academy is the Italian German cars. Oh wait, Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes driven. You almost made me concerned too. I was like, wait, how did he do that? Oh wait. Of note, Gianluca De Luca passed Andrew Burke and actually made up some good time. 2.5 seconds near enough.
Every German out there is going to scream and throw their computer on the ground when I say this, but when I see Mercedes, I think English at this point.
Wayne Hutchison, if you're listening to this, please plug your ears about 20 seconds ago.
Oh, yes.
Albert Ahona making a hell of a dive on Matt Higgs as they come into Brooklands. Second to last corner, but Matt defends. The switchback helping him out. Oh no, Cliff Hemian falling from grace. And we have another car behind him. That might be Silvestri as well.
See what Kenny can do here. He is having a rough season with incidents at the start of every race.
Oh yeah.
But the last few have been incidents compounded with incidents, which is usually how it happens. Maybe this can
Yeah.
be incident just on its own.
In the words
A
of
clean
Ben
race from here.
Croshaw, it's not impossible to have a cock up cascade happen.
Yes.
The results of one accident compound upon themselves, and you find yourself just eating shit, as they would say.
You know what, Sean Kenny? I'll say it. That's a good-looking car. Not every other Mercedes. I hate every Mercedes out there, but I like that car. It looks
Yeah.
different than the others. Its
I
front looks
the
different.
I'll be honest, the giant chrome M on the side makes me think they're trying to like be BMW or something.
I swear that one has more of like a swooping splitter down at the bottom. The others are more just rounded up front. I don't know. I like it.
I don't understand why they like. I get it in consumer cars, you know, they gotta have a style thing, so the grills keep getting bigger. In the race car for the 2020 Mercedes GT3, they made the grill like 30% larger, and I'm like, why? Of all the guys who must understand how aerodynamics works, surely you guys must understand that making the grill bigger makes the car less aerodynamic, right?
Yes. On the other hand, you have Lamborghini, who has an incredibly small opening on the front of that
Yeah,
car.
right.
You have to wonder how that Mercedes is even possible to keep up. I mean, the Lamborghini not only has a small opening, but the whole thing is like wedge shaped and perfect. And then you have the
Yeah.
giant grill, flat fronted Mercedes.
Well,
How is that thing not massively hampered?
I remember James, or not James, Justin Swan, other founder of the Academy series, was talking to us earlier about how the Mercedes guzzles fuel more than any other car in this series, and that kind of took me back. It took me aback, and I guess now I know why. To counter the fact that it's a brick, they just turn up the power, I guess.
Yeah, that seems like a good use of power.
Meanwhile, we see Javier Castaño Muniz being split by Richard Higgs or Matt Higgs. God dang it, I'm gonna mess it up once every time. But Albert Ahona, who Higgs got past not too long ago, was trying to have a look as we were talking, but didn't make it happen. Meanwhile, David Nelson is making his way up to 14th place. We come back again to Matt Higgs. Wait, what? So the title card on the bottom right says Matt Higgs, but on the leaderboard it says R Higgs. Huh. All right, the more you know. Although of note, Mr. Higgs is making rapid pace on Javier in front.
Yeah.
So Arjona was making some moves in the last lap, but it looks like that Lamborghini does have a niche in this track. The middle. There he is, the man himself, staring steely-eyed into the distance.
Matt doesn't seem like the kind of guy to wear a red helmet.
Do you think maybe he got a stand-in as the Stig?
Maybe.
Maybe the Stig is driving for him. So the train behind Carlo Dorazio and James Butler lengthens. A couple laps ago, it was just Javier Eugeni behind him. But it looks like their battle has caused Rachel Guerin and Stambuk and maybe Ben Venuti as well to kind of queue up in spectacular fashion. I'll say this Aston Martin livery, the livery that Carlo Dorazio is using, makes me it gives me like original or 2016 Ford GT
Hmm.
EcoBoost like livery vibes. I mean, maybe it's just because of the red, white, and blue, but the way it
Mm-hmm.
kind of wraps around the front, which is also pretty curvy, it gives me those vibes.
Yeah. Well, we all know England copied America's flag with the red, white, and blue, so yeah, it makes sense that they're copying those colors on the livery.
We're gonna go on record saying that that's historically correct. All history books that say otherwise are wrong. I do gotta say that that livery that James Butler is using, I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to be. Is that a? I mean, normally when cars are kind of deliveries are exaggerated like that, they're supposed to be representing something, right? Like for example, Rachel Guerin you see in the background with that Audi. That's a bunch of different flags. I
Hey,
think
did this just happen or did I miss it? When did DeLuca pass Burke for the lead?
that happened a while ago. I
Okay.
think I made notice of that. I hope he had put like 2.4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe he just didn't catch it.
Probably didn't.
Anyway,
Look at Matt Higgs just holding up this train of cars.
yeah, and again, Albert Ahona makes a little bitty look. Decides against it. That's usually the smart choice. If
Two 911s and a Higgs in the middle. This is a wonderfully volatile group.
yeah. Uh-oh. Luckily, Matt is known more for his speeding in pit lane penalties than his driving infringement penalties. But you never know. It's never too late to start that kind of thing. The Ferrari of Wesley Stokes, the number 119, is right on their tail. Let's see how far back we can let this conga line stretch. All in all, a pretty stable race though. Not too much happening as far as intense battles go. I scanned the scoreboard as best I can, and lap after lap, it seems like we got some pretty regular maneuvers. Although Rachel Guerin did just lose a spot. Benvenuti.
I was just thinking that we're not really seeing anyone move up and down, which, really tells me that qualifying was a
Accurate.
successful session, yeah, where
Yeah.
everyone's slotted in
Yeah.
right where their pace should be.
Dang it! When do we get to call an audible and like blow up one of the cars or something? Where's when do we get to activate their battle royale callers?
Yes, a closing circle. This part of
Yeah.
the track is now off limits. You must find your way from Sector 1 to Sector 3. Does that mean going through the grass? Does that mean driving through the garage? I don't know, but that's up to you. Sector 2
Okay,
is now
so
off limits.
Grid 2 is one of those racing games that people generally don't like. Like it's not as
Ah,
innovative as Grid
unlike
1.
Mario Kart Wii, yes, it's one of the bad ones. Okay, go on.
Love that analogy. But oh,
Yeah.
Matt Higgs gets a little slidey around Brooklands, it looks like. Will Arjona be able to capitalize on? No, he won't.
Nope.
But anyway, Grid 2 it had a cool feature where you could set it. I forget what the mode was called, but you could drive in a race, but every so many laps, the track layout would change. So
Oh, I
you
need
could,
that.
I mean, they didn't have really real circuits. They were like fictional
Hmm.
circuits that did it with. But conceivably, you could do like a Nürburgring GP and then switch the chicane, like sometimes.
I was just thinking about that the other day. Since we have so many alternate layout ones, they should definitely be switching around, which layout they're using
I mean, that's
on the fly.
probably impossible in real life because, safety. But
No, no, no,
in
no. You just have some guy standing
oh
there at the
god.
chicane entrance with a flag, waving it, telling you which way to go. I've seen them do that at construction sites. I know they can do that. They can
Oh
do
yeah.
it on a track.
Oh, perfect. Because in construction sites, if you break the law there, they give you a double fine. So if you hit the guy with the flag, you get a double penalty.
Look, I'm
Perfect.
just saying there's a construction site happening. We're on the block right next to where I work, and every day by the hour they have this giant like orange barricade that they are illegally moving around on the streets because they don't want people going down streets. I hate them. But the fact is they move it around from street to street all the time. I know they could do that with this. Just put a barricade by the minute. Slide it around.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that the stakes are a little higher if you do that on an active racetrack, but they could be. You never know. All I'm saying is, Codemasters, you had at least one good idea. Can't you like make that change happen in the actual race? Come on.
You know what, Colt? You're right. It would be dangerous to have humans moving the barriers. What we need is something like GTA Stadium War races, where
Oh
you have
god.
these big barriers that just pop up from out of the track and block off sections.
Like friggin' Twisted Metal style. I love it.
Yes.
So yet again around Brooklands, we saw Albert Ahona try
Hmm.
and make a move around Matt Higgs. Every time he does that, he's slowing him up a little bit as Higgs has to alter his line slightly. And as we can see, that Wesley Stokes is waiting with ever increasing anticipation.
I'm sure this will be sorted out without any form of contact.
I'm sure this arrangement won't cause anyone to die. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm saying maybe they couldn't do that in real life with the changing tracks, but why isn't that an
Ooh.
idea that hasn't spread to more games? Like that'd be cool. I'd be all for that.
Procedurally generated circuits. You don't even know what's coming up ahead.
Oh no. Hey, that is why I maintain there's no shame in using the racing line in Forza Horizon series. Because it's basically procedurally generated. How many times I gotta try and say that word?
Oh,
Wow,
Matt Higgs gets by
yeah,
Javier Castaño Muniz.
I was just trying to
Wonder what
figure out that
happened.
arrangement. So Javier gets stacked up with Albert and Wesley
Stokes
Stokes.
pokesing in.
Yeah, Wesley Stokes is chomping at the bit, and he sees.
Wow, and Higgs is opening up a gap. He's gone.
Well, as we kind of saw in the last couple of corners, Muniz and Arjona were pretty unsteady. They seem to have almost gotten into some contact. So I'm not super surprised, but man,
Now you
Matt
gotta
Higgs,
wonder if
props.
Castaño Muniz is perhaps holding up Arjona as well.
It's definitely possible.
No, these two are not official teammates.
Yes, there are no teams in this series right now.
Wink, wink. I don't even see a resemblance between those two cars.
No, they're like basically different.
I think one is a Volkswagen, the other is a Lamborghini Type 2 or something like that.
Hey, if we're going by which car's a Volkswagen, you could pretty much just get rid of 80% of the cars in this field.
Yeah, I think he's driving a Jetta, is that?
Better get a Jetta. And with that, our pit window opens.
Oh,
Ooh, John
and
Barker is a interesting strategy. Not sure what that was about.
I guess without being able to see which turn that was, it looked a little weird, but that kind of made sense.
But anyway, with that, actually about a lap ago, the pit window opens. So they have 20 minutes to pit, do fuel and tires, and potentially damage if they want. But they must do it or else get a hefty penalty.
You see how the exit of that turn doesn't have a runoff? It's just grass? That's how
Yeah,
every turn should be.
I agree. I actually agree. Like it's a trend that many tracks are starting to, or not starting to, but have been adopting for a while, is having huge runoffs. I mean, you mentioned that before, but yeah, I'm fully in agreement. We should punish the drivers that go off track.
I knew it was true for Hockenheim and Silverstone especially, but having recently driven 1993 Spa in another game,
Oh,
it's
Spa's brutal.
so much better. There's no runoffs anywhere.
It's terrifying, but you have to be more careful.
That section after the long sweeping left-hander, you know, the really long left-hander, which by the way, same thing, no runoff there.
Are you talking
But
about
then
Spa?
yeah, Spa.
Okay.
You know, midway through the track, there's that long left-hander you go
Yeah,
around.
I'm desperately trying to remember the name of it.
That's not Puon, I don't think, because that comes
No.
later. But the S is before Puon, like that first right-left section where you go in like third gear. Yeah, those currently have like curbs that you can take on the inside and the outside. No, the old one, it's just grass with a heavy curb on either side. It's like having walls around you. It's basically Monaco.
Yeah.
So you have to. It's a very different course when you can't even be going up over the curbs.
Yeah, it's true. Although to be fair, modern Spa does have some pretty brutal curves. I mean, the runoffs, yeah, that they're pretty much just omnipresent. But it's the curves can be pretty deadly if you get onto them too much.
Also, I did not realize when the track was changed around a bit in, I want to say it was the early 2000s, that Eau Rouge was altered.
Oh
Minor,
yeah,
but yeah. You know, it looks very minor, but when you're on track driving into it, it is a clear difference.
yeah. What exactly changed? Because I'd never really
It's a
analyzed it. I knew
lot
they did
wider,
change it.
for one thing. It's to the left, so you kind of hug right, obviously, but to the left, there's like a mile of tarmac there. Ironic considering the rest of the track seems a lot thinner, but
Yeah.
it doesn't flow quite as well, whereas now it is a more gentle, smooth. This is like driving up a wall and then there isn't a runoff on the left. It's very,
Yikes.
you crest the hill and there's a wall in front of you. I can
Oof.
see how, you know, people died there now.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea to change that.
Yeah, no runoff there. You just kind of hit this wall abruptly, take a blind right, And then you crest over it, and of course, no major runoff on the right at the exit either. So
Yikes. Okay.
very different turn.
All right. Well, I can see that that being a safety concern there.
Yeah.
But as we saw, Javier Castaño Muniz went off track. Wait, no, that's Arjona. Arjona's the green one. Arjona went off track. Doesn't seem to have suffered any penalties. But we also saw Wesley Stokes making some moves on Muniz. So we could be having some more battles going on. Ironically enough, Vinu said that there's no way that there's no way that Matt would be getting by the Porsches without some fatal maneuvers, shall we say. It actually happened. Oh, Ayrton just sent me a picture of the old Eau Rouge. Yeah, wow.
Very different entry. It's like
That's
scaling
very
a wall. It's much more. Frankly, that's a much more intimidating look approaching that. Looks a lot steeper.
Indeed, I meant to make note to put this in the video.
Yeah. And as you crest the top, there's not just a wall, but a wall backed by, you know, a hill of dirt. So you're not getting much break there if you hit that.
I mean, it doesn't look
Oh.
very forgiving at all. I mean, not that
Oh.
Eau Rouge, the Red River.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
Jeff!
That
Did
was
Jeff put the hurt on
Nelson.
Nelson? Nelson spun himself out. I was looking back right at the worst time. What happened?
This day at Silverstone has not been kind to the Ferraris in either the Academy or the GT Challenge.
Nelson and Silvestri have just had the worst luck.
Yeah.
I mean, whether fortunately or unfortunately, I can't say. But the most action seems to be happening near the end of the track at Brooklands and the like. So now, in having to do a pits, maybe that could be a motivator for some of these drivers. Hey, worst case scenario, I get fresh tires. Best case scenario, maybe I fix some damage. And now Rachel Guerin has made her way back past Mark Benvenuti. So she was last time we checked in 10th, but now she's in 9th. Very nice. And there's a nice train forming, or that's been forming, I suppose, from Dorazio back to Benvenuti, and really Ramaker too.
All right. Midway through the pit window, Benvenuti. He goes in right behind Butler and Eugenie.
So yeah, we're rapidly approaching our halfway point. Did Benvenuti disconnect? No, he just stopped.
I'm
Oh.
imagining he was panicking and realized he didn't quite have his pit stop set up as he wanted. So he wanted to stop there before he got to it and made some
That
change.
makes sense. You know, that does make sense.
You know,
I figured
he had some damage he needed to get fixed or something. And
I was figuring I figured he was checking his in-car Twitter feed and saw Miley Cyrus post something and had to stop and gape at it for a second.
That too.
I don't know, is Miley Cyrus still relevant?
I'm gonna say no.
I haven't heard of her doing
Alive,
a stupid thing in a
probably.
long time.
Relevant, no.
Probably. I mean, I haven't heard of her doing a stupid thing in at least a couple months, so she might be dead.
You know, once you reach that stage in your career, you've gone over the hump of stupid. Now you can do stupid things, but everyone's like, so brave.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, is the sad part. Where did our home go? Oh, he pit. Okay. Sorry.
Has Eugenie been the only BMW in the field this whole season, or was there someone earlier?
There was someone earlier.
Yeah.
There's only ever been one more, but I do remember there being one.
Yeah, I just feel like he wasn't always the only one.
I mean, I'm very confident there's only ever been two.
With Higgs out of the way, yeah, Stokes now all over the back of Castaño Muniz. Gotta wonder who's gonna dive into the pits first.
Well, he was already over there. It looks like
Go.
Stokes. So
It'll be real interesting to see where Arjona cycles out relative to these two.
Yeah, well, the big equalizer we've always seen classically, and it's just because it's difficult, is the pit window. You know, how do you set up your pit? How do you know, depending on who you filter off with and how you execute the slowdown and the stop, and I mean, I've stalled my car before doing a pit stop, so we've seen the order
Yeah.
completely change before, and they wouldn't be surprised if it happened again.
I'm guessing Stokes felt that he had a little bit more pace and was being held up by Castagno Muniz there.
I would believe it. That sounds right. Like John Archie in the fresh tire equipped NSX is getting held up by Valentine. Not too much though. Was it in a GT Challenge series race, or was it in an academy? It had to be GT Challenge, in which yeah, it was Laguna Seca actually, where David Nelson and Rachel Guerin were battling just like in the academy last season. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that, or if I said that I didn't want that to kind of filter through again.
And
And
they've been
there they are,
close.
third and fourth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a half a minute between them, but
Yes, I think Nelson? Was he in the pits? No.
no, I think he's
He
just
was
coming up
like
to a
6 or
timing
so
gap.
spots behind her, so I guess there would be that gap.
So
Love
John
the
Archie went for
top-mounted display.
heck yeah.
I assume he's actually sitting the second row there, and that's just a little TV his parents put in for him to keep him distracted. Oh
Oh
no!
no, he got too distracted by the TV. The distracted driving calls again, or
Oh, nice
it
little
strikes
job of
again.
getting it stopped without sliding into the wall. I'm not sure why he's taking such a long route back to the track. But
I mean, I guess he figures if his tires are already dirty, might as well just go full, just cut some of the
interesting.
track. I don't know. Let that be a lesson to you. When Tesla starts allowing Netflix in the in-car entertainment, don't use it.
Yeah,
If a
definitely not if you're
professional
on track at Silverstone.
if a professional John Archie can't handle it, you definitely can't.
But what if you're a professional movie watcher? I'm just saying, he might be a driver, but how is his television intake skills? Because I'm pretty good at that.
Can I
Maybe I'm better.
can I get a can I add that to my resume, as my television intake skills are phenomenal.
I'm really good at distracted driving. Here's where things start to get really messy, as it's showing certain people have pitted, but it hasn't actually updated where they're running, so for the
Yeah,
next lap or so, the scoreboard is very
now
unreliable.
now's the time where I normally just like zone out for a little bit and wait until all
Yeah,
the little orange bars become green, because there's really no making any comparisons right now.
I assume that's what the drivers are doing anyways. 26 minutes to go, you can just zone out,
Yeah, pretty
forget you're racing.
much.
So,
Rick Martel, a name we haven't talked about in a while.
yeah, and we're gonna not talk about him, because anyways, Castagno Muniz, I'm sorry, Rick, but Castagno Muniz looks like he's
Destroyed.
gonna be our last man out there, definitely going for the overcut. Let's see.
The Max Simmons Award for last pitter.
Hmm. Oh yes, Turcotte is already in the pits, so Castagno Muniz, 1 Max Simmons to you.
Wait, what? Is Turcotte already in the pit?
It showed a P next to his name for a moment. Does that
You
mean
were
he took the
fooled!
pit? Did he take like the pit entrance and then decide not to? Okay, he is dropping
It's
position, so I'm gonna
possible.
assume he is. Aha, he figured out that all you have to do, technically, to serve your mandatory pit is just go into the pit entrance and then pull out before you enter pit
Ah,
road.
modern problems require modern
Quick, someone try
solutions.
it. We need to make sure this will work.
So John Archie going around the outside of David Nelson, but they're lining up for the last couple of. No, that's not the last couple of corners. That's right before Hanger Straight. No, that's right after Hanger Straight. I don't. They're corners. They're driving. So on board again with Matt Higgs, who is now tracking down Gianluca De Luca. This is technically for third place, so Matt sits on the on the podium. Sorry, I was getting a little bit frazzled. So he's made a fantastic run up from, was it 7th into 4th or maybe 8th? Now I'm with Carlo Dorazio looking behind Javier Eugeni, who, in spite of choosing a car that many would consider to be slower, has made the most of it, holding up firm at 8th place. Dominic Turcotte is still not pitted. I'm scanning for a couple of names, and oh, that's just because I was thinking
Now it
thinking
shows
they
Turcotte
left.
is back in the pit, so I guess he
Yeah,
wasn't that previous time?
that just happened. Yeah, so I think he's actually officially pitting now for realsies, no take backsies.
Ah, super serial.
Ooh, Wesley Stokes with a
Wesley
dive around.
Stokes.
I believe that's
That was
Valentine.
Valentine, yeah.
Yeah. So, interesting place to get out of the way, but not the worst I've ever seen. Now watching Josh McLaughlin, I suppose. So,
Oh, that connection made that line very interesting.
I was just looking at that. I was like,
Oh, look at that little happy face.
yeah. What does it say on the back of that car? So Javier Castaño Muniz is continuing in true Max Simmons fashion.
So, Higgs lost out to De Luca on that pit cycle.
Yeah, he did.
In fact, De
I was
Luca jumped a lot of guys.
no,
'Cause he
yeah.
was,
I was gonna say I would say that DeLuca actually had a better pit stop than most.
yeah, well, yeah, Higgs, Arjona came out in the same order.
Stokes as well.
Looks like Stokes, was he? Yeah, no, he was right behind. Well,
Hmm.
no, he was behind Castaño Muniz. He was ahead of Arjona briefly. So Arjona did jump him by getting in the pits first. Arjona was the very first one in there.
Oh, you're right. I was confusing the two Porsches. You're right.
Yeah, and yeah, De Luca got up around that whole group.
Wonder what he did. Do you think he bribed the pit crew of
Maybe.
the
I
others?
guess he just hopped in early, got some fresh tires and clean air, and put down some really good laps.
Maybe a couple of oil slicks,
Yes.
smoke screen.
Or perhaps his laps weren't even that great. It was just that, those other guys were out there fighting each other on tracks so much. Like, look at that gap. Arjona and Stokes, 8 seconds back
Yeah, I was
when
just
they
gonna
were
say that.
ahead of De Luca, so they really hurt each other with that fighting.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a mixture but it had yeah I bet it had something to do with their fighting. I mean that's a common story we see.
Hmm.
Is just engaging can cause, if you make a move, it causes someone to have to adjust their line to accommodate you so you don't have an accident, and then all of a sudden you've lost a half second in that corner, and then lather, rinse, and repeat every time you do that. I mean, in the last race we saw a Porsche, I believe, in the academy making many maneuvers on the guy he was tracking down. I forget who was involved exactly, but I mean, it's not unreasonable to say you could lose half a second per failed pass attempt.
So Sean Kenny's back up to 15th, having as we had hoped, a rather quiet recovery day.
I wonder if it's as quiet if we watch from the onboard view. Hey, we're watching from the onboard view. Rachel Guerin setting her best lap of the day. 159.3. Jeff is also having a quieter race than I expected. That green Jaguar coming into shot at the last minute there.
Um, Real quick, up front, De Luca is now within half a second of Burke for the lead.
Didn't DeLuca pass Burke? Didn't Burke
No.
qualify first, and then DeLuca passed him?
Wait. Oh,
think
no, you're right. Yeah,
I
he
think
was up
DeLuca
there.
had a
I'm
bad
thinking of
pit.
Dorazio.
Yeah, I
You're
think
right.
yeah.
DeLuca wasn't first.
So
And
yeah.
Castano Muniz, after staying out the longest, has slotted in back behind Higgs and Arjona, and right in front of Stokes.
So the
But you're
status
right.
quo is resumed.
Never mind, DeLuca. Disregard everything nice I said. It looks like you lost some spots there.
Go to your room. David Nelson is actually working his way back up. Although he has lost a couple of spots since the pit window opened. As we said before, that could be due to any number of causes. Now currently battling against John Archie.
Weren't these the two we saw fighting not too long ago?
Yes.
I know, because I was thinking about, like, hey, that's a cool looking 488 and NSX. I like them together. As you can see, that 488 is just stomping away from the NSX. Much faster car, much better. Very wow.
Much better, very well. And the driver has clearly much better taste in cars. And I bet he's handsome too.
Raymaker. Ooh.
Chris Ramaker.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting place to go side by
Whoa.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, that was I mean, luckily he didn't push the issue. Like that was maggots and Beckett's that he was trying to get around in.
Yes. As we all know, the secret to going fast through maggots and Beckett's is to go really fast, but then also not too fast. But then make sure you're fast later on.
You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Ayrton Tobin, the rule to getting around maggots and
Do
Beckett's
that
fast is
about
go
4
fast.
times in a row, and you've done it.
And you've gone fast. Alright, okay, let me write that down. Go fast.
Chapter 2 in my string theory forum will be 6.99.
What a deal.
Yes,
Do you accept Bitcoin?
definitely.
Do you accept Bitcoin 20 years ago?
Yes. I might owe you money at that point.
Probably. But as we come up to Village Corner, we see Chris Ramaker having some issues. Looks like he's sliding a little bit more than I bet he wants to, losing a little bit of ground to Rachel Guerin. The same appears to be happening with James Butler, who is now fending off Jeff.
Yeah, you know, the weirdest thing this season has been Jeff, just because I guess this is where this is where that Jag is supposed to be running. It was just so weird that at the opening race he was out front and so good in that car.
Yeah. Well, I finished
And
P2, I believe.
P2
Behind.
and very much in the, in the fight for the win. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I say it a lot, but Jeff is. I mean, I like watching Jeff. He's. You never quite know what's gonna happen with him. In season 3, he was absolutely lethal. But he had some sticking points with some of the other drivers. Not personally, but just like he got a little over aggressive a couple of times. Now he seems to be much the opposite, mainly just slotting in and turning laps. Like you said, the Jaguar should be moderately strong, if not very strong, in this track, and whatever it is, it's just not connecting this time.
my guess is Stoff is indeed Bane and Jeff is Batman, and that shunt at Zandvoort just broke his back and his spirit and threw him into a dark pit.
Yeah, you're right. He's now got to learn how to become a ninja all over again.
He'll get there.
I
Who
want to
is
I want
his
I want
Liam Neeson then?
I want to see what the ESR analog for setting the Batwing to autopilot and dropping a nuke in the ocean is. I can't wait, is all I can say. Andrew Burke and Gianluca De Luca are still neck and neck. It's been largely the same as what you're seeing right now for the
Ooh,
last
that's a
few
cut and a
laps.
half.
What's that?
Just went clear over the curbing on the
Oh,
inside up
oh,
against
he
the
said
wall.
that was a cut and a half. Okay, I didn't hear you. I do like the livery on De Luca's Aston Martin. Normally, I'm too big of a fan of gray, but I do like the off gray and the gray kind of meshing together.
Yeah, not a fan of the green on Burke's car.
See, I actually like the green and black Rinaldi Ferraris. I don't know why.
Is that a light flash of De Luca?
I think we might have seen a light flash. I was actually wondering if that was just a lighting glitch, but once you get up to this level of competition, the mind games start coming into play. And that's
My
when it
favorite
gets
mind
really
game
fun.
is the bump out of the way. The most physical of mind games.
My favorite mind game is the put him in the wall,
Oh!
as we see happen right now. No, I was just kidding. Didn't actually happen. But it did get really dicey there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't quite a put him in the wall, but De Luca's sticking his nose in there. He is not content to just sit back.
Yeah. And we could predict that being equally as successful as unsuccessful, to be honest.
Oh boy.
We've seen that go wrong just as many times as we've seen
Yeah.
it go right.
Dude, Luca's very aggressive here, looking for every opportunity.
Going very wide on every corner.
This
I mean,
has just to be maddening as Burke when you've got not just someone on your tail, but someone
as
searching for
aggressive.
every opportunity like this.
Yeah, you can see him. He's not letting the leader sit idly by. Whoa, getting really close. Coming into the final corner.
On the other hand, I mean, I've been in the same position as Burke here, where there's someone fighting you for the lead, and they are being super aggressive, and it's kind of if they use up everything and show their hand too early by being aggressive, but lap after lap they aren't making the pass, then the mind game starts to transfer back to you, and you're like, okay, I see you're freaking out back there.
Whoa!
Okay, someone
Rachel
Raymaker.
Guerin got a little antsy, and Raymaker looked like he was maybe trying to make a dive, but had to back out. That's maybe I misread that, but anyway, Raymaker went wide, ends up behind Butler and Jeff.
I will say the situation I was in with blocking a guy for the lead while he was getting a little over aggressive ended with an accident taking out both of us. So let's see how this goes.
I would imagine that would be I'd imagine that'd be the more likely outcome, if I'm honest.
The next outcome of that was that Stoffel came by and won. So I'm expecting him to take the track any moment and win.
A new challenger has appeared. And DeLuca's going around the inside of, I believe that's Club. Yes, indeed. I mean, so the aggression worked out. Andy Burke gets passed by Gianluca DeLuca. Although Burke isn't letting him have any extra space. Higgs behind is rapidly catching. So you have to wonder how much effort they want to put into making this an issue versus how bad do they want to make this a three-way, if you know what I'm saying.
He stole it. Now can he drive it like he stole it? Can he get away? Man, that
taking a very defensive line.
Sticks to the track. When we were looking back at him, he would like outbrake him and still corner tighter than that Ferrari could.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, that's how the Ferraris felt to me. It's fast, but it kind of floats around.
Interesting. That's what I would expect. I mean, even now from this view, you can see the cornering difference. The Ferrari has to be a little more cautious. Maybe you can get on the power earlier, but...
Yeah, the way that, especially on a track like this, not so much the flowing turns, but those really tight sections at either end, that Aston Martin corners so well. Kind of reminds me of that GTR Stoffmuel's driving, which was a little down on downforce, but had such good suspension work that it could just ride those curves and take every tight turn well.
Yeah. Well, and that can be a really crucial thing in especially a race as tight as this, is knowing where your car has the advantage.
I was gonna say, that could be a really crucial thing on a track that has turns.
I mean, yeah, it'd be less crucial in a track that doesn't have turns, so you're right. And by extension, I'm right.
I find turning is generally the key to victory.
That's weird because I generally find putting the right foot to the floor is the key to victory for me. Maybe I'll have to try your strategy next time.
Just when I was about to praise Auto Director for doing a stellar job today.
Yeah. I mean, hey, for what we pay him, he does a pretty good job. I mean, aside from Archie versus Nelson, I think this is probably the closest battle we have to look at right now. Hey, there we go. So Archie is going around the outside of Nelson into club. Garner Archie and David Nelson are, I think we can safely consider nemesis for the day.
Ooh. All over him.
I'm kind of curious how the NSX compares. We've seen drivers complain that it's not very fast, but I mean, it hangs on. I always forget that Jeff's team name is Jag. Yeah, we can see here that just the Jaguar does not have the straight line speed. Chris Ramaker in that Lexus. I mean, Lexus is not the fastest car ever.
Woo, Auto Director, getting me all heated here, busting out the helmet cam. Going wild now.
It's getting steamy in here. Glad there's only 8 minutes left, or else there might be some animal noises being made.
Just watch it stick with this till the end.
Archie goes into the pits. He might have had some problems. Even at the second sector marker, he was 4 seconds down from Nelson, so I think he may have had an accident. Meanwhile, Burke is slowly reeling DeLuca back in.
Yeah, here we go.
There he is right there.
It in. Pass done. Oh.
Get a little handbrake in there.
Look at that. There's a whole car's width to the inside available.
Come on, Andrew. You're making me sad. I'm about to start drinking heavily again.
You see where you are exiting the turn? You're behind him. You know where you could have been? In front of him.
Wow. I can't argue that logic. Ooh, DeLuca goes pretty wide into turn, I think that's 1.
Oh, yes.
There we go, there's maggots.
Maybe. I honestly can't remember where the starting grid is on this track, which layout it's using. That's turn 1 on one of them.
Well, we're doing the layout where Cops is the first turn. So
that turn before maggots, buckets
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not like Race Room's version of Modern, where you start before that, like, sweeping right-hander that then goes into the back and forth cutbacks. Okay.
Yeah, I think in F1 and in Race Room you start at the Hamilton straight, my bad.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So this is, I'm assuming then, the Blancpain series IRL uses this layout.
I believe it.
For GT.
I mean, I know absolutely nothing about Silverstone, but I do wonder why they have the 2 different starting locations.
They don't even put it to good use. I mean, if you're going to have 2 garages, 2 pit lanes, and 2 starts, there's no reason you can't have a GT and an F1 race at the same time.
And some monster trucks.
Exactly. This is a pathetic waste of resources here.
And might as well have one going one way and one going the other way.
Yes.
Why don't we have jet-powered dragsters on the airstrip?
Yes, and jet-powered jets on the track.
Nice. Go full Forza Horizon 4 in this bitch. Uh-oh, Rachel Guerin goes really wide. Intimidated by Jeff.
Oh, man, Butler, look at this. You can pass 3 cars in one turn here. Well, you got 1.
I mean, better than nothing, I suppose. But man, Butler, that's going on your next performance review. Wait, how did Jeff and McLaughlin end up? Oh, McLaughlin's a lap down. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Comeback of the
He's
century
riding
right
the
here.
struggle bus today.
Ram racing. I'm gonna pretend this is rum racing.
I'm not. Is that legal? Do they have alcohol
The
sponsors
all-new
anymore?
Dodge Ram AMG GT3, the fastest growing truck GT3 brand in America.
Shout out to Ram Truck GT3s. Hey, Dodge, I know you're now owned by Peugeot, but if you create a Ram GT3, I will give you all my life savings.
I will take back everything bad I've said about your company.
I will become your #1 brand ambassador.
And when all these weenie European teams complain about it not fitting the spec, too bad. You have a truck GT3 and they don't.
Yeah. Hey, you. Yeah. The motto's always been race on Sunday, sell on Monday. This is race on Sunday, sell on Monday, haul logs on Tuesday. Tow boat on Friday.
You know, with the power they have, could any of these GT3s tow a boat?
I mean, the power isn't the challenge. I think it's the chassis, and also the fact that they're so low.
Yeah, well, I would like to see someone try and hook up a trailer with a boat to one of these.
It would be pretty brutal because the transmissions really don't like
Yeah.
feathering the clutch at all. Actually, I don't even know because these gears are so relatively long compared to like truck transmissions that you might blow up your clutch before you get moving
I
down the
think
freeway.
so. Alright, well, clearly there needs to be an event at the end of the season where they just, have a tow-off, see who can pull it the furthest.
Yeah, it'll be the first ever Blancpain IGT tractor pull.
I mean, if they're gonna do, sim racing events alongside it, the least they could do is a tractor pull.
Is that the least they could do? Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's more relevant. It's at least using the real cars.
Yeah, you're not wrong, technically.
So it looks like Burke is not quite within touching distance, but he is still within a second.
Do you think DeLuca wants to be within touching distance?
I haven't met either of them, so that would depend on, how well they get along in a room. Would they be the kind of guys to be like, we're both going to Subway, but neither of us are really hungry enough to want to eat a sandwich. Do you want to split one? Maybe. I don't know. Are they those kind of friends?
Oh, Jeff getting really, really bold, and it might end up biting him in the ass because that Jaguar we've seen is not particularly strong in the straights, and they're coming up to one of the longer ones, Hamilton. Although it looks like Gremaker gave up. I totally thought you were gonna go like Lady in the Tramp with it and have like a spaghetti and meatballs thing, like meatball marinara going on, but
Well, now you're just being silly.
so,
Dogs eating
so
sandwiches?
how could I? I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, it'd be truly crazy. Dogs eating hot dogs.
Disgusting.
Which one's the dog and which one's the not dog?
So don't look now, but we do have a nice little train of cars here with one lap remaining after this.
Oh crap, I looked. What do I do? I'll just pretend I didn't.
Yeah.
So we got Butler, Jeff Ramaker, and Benvenuti all engaged in a nice little skirmish. Wait, no, what? That's a back marker. That Porsche is a back marker, right? It has to be. So never mind. It's just Butler, Jeff, and Ramaker.
So what's the gap?
I believe that's Turcotte.
Yeah, this should be the last lap then.
We haven't checked on in a while. Wesley Stokes still stuck behind Javier Castaño Muniz and Alberto Arjona. We said this a little bit before, but there's not been a ton of shuffling. Like, it's mainly been set the cruise control and drive. I'm impressed and a little disappointed.
Not to say we haven't seen some good fights around the track.
I miss the days when a car could go off the track and fly into the grandstands, and it would be interesting.
I do too. Good times.
Editing that was fun. Albert Hona looks to be passing. I believe that was
Yeah.
John Barker.
We're not seeing it here, but Jeff is riding the tail of Butler.
Yeah, he is.
Rainmaker in tow. And now
Oh,
we
there
are
we go.
seeing it here.
Yeah, now we are seeing.
So they're gonna have like 4 more turns. And certainly
Yep.
the run out of this turn is gonna lead into your last passing opportunity.
Chris has got a kind of everything to gain here.
Hey, can't take those brake discs to the garage with you. Let's go. Use them up.
Roast him up. Summer break barbecue, a BBBQ. And with that, DeLuca, Burke, Higgs, Arjona, all those guys are finishing. Looks like Rainmaker cannot make the pass around Jeff, who cannot make the pass around Butler. Turcotte and Barker follow. Looks like I'm used to this game switching to currently driving cars. Oh well.
There's one.
There we go. Jones versus Stambuk and Archie.
Yeah.
Looks like yeah, oh yeah, Archie went to the pits, that's right.
Wait, who was in the academy? Was it Butler or Barker? It must have been Butler because he was a Mercedes.
It was
Okay.
Butler, yeah. So before I forget, I should pull up the results. So you can read those off when cars start leaving. Ring Martell having a quiet race. David Nelson ending up at about a net 0 with that result. So we'll call it evens.
So it looks like Archie got by Jones sometime on this last lap, considering the scoring from the previous lap showed Jones up front. But here we see Archie.
Oh yeah, there you go. Indeed, indeed.
There we go.
So yeah, sorry, I'm looking up the results to make sure everything is accurate. Apologies, ladies and gents. And as the drivers put in their notes for the results, there we go. We get our tables. You have Gianluca De Luca in first place. Good job there. Andrew Burke in second. Matt Higgs in third. Albert Arjona in fourth. Javier Muniz in fifth. Wesley Stokes sixth. Dorazio seventh. Javier Eugeni eighth. Guerin ninth. Butler 10th. Jeff 11th. Chris Ramaker 12th. Ben Venuti 13th. Kenny 14th. Rick Martell in 15th. David Nelson in 16th. And I can't trust these results now, I don't think. But those are the unofficial, or those are the official top 16s. I have the other one up here. So who? David Nelson 16th, John Archie in 17th, Dave Jones 18, Brandon Stambuk in 19th, and John Barker in 20th. Wait, John Picha is listed twice on this score sheet.
So nice, we saw him twice.
Yes, so nice you saw him twice. I like.
I actually don't remember him being in this race at all. Did we?
I don't think he was. I mean, yeah, both of these are listed as DNF, so interesting. We'll just call it a ghost in the machine and hope that we don't get cursed for eternity. It's all we can do. So of note, Matt Higgs doing fantastic from 6th up into 3rd. Wesley Stokes making a little bit of positions up. Unfortunately, Gianmarco Silvestri ended up quitting and did not finish. Well, I shouldn't say quitting, but retiring. Likewise with Paul Hopp and Cliff Hemian as well. So, unfortunately, you can't win them all. Rachel Guerin gets pointy stick for the voice squawker. All right. But yeah,
I
so
assume
right
someone
now,
talked during the race.
it seems so. Let me go back to see the scoring details. Our current standings as they stand: Andrew Burke first, Albert Hona picking up second place, Mike Stockmeal still holding on into third, Gianluca De Luca almost there, 2 points shy of Mike Stockmill with 135 versus 137. Matt Higgs in fifth, just behind him with 121. Javier Eugeni in sixth with 103. Jeff in seventh with 100. Javier Muniz in eighth with 97, so getting very close already. Rachel Guerin in ninth with 93, and Carlo Dorazio in 10th with 92 points. Yeah, but so this is shaping up to be really interesting, and I mean, unfortunately, Stockmill isn't here anymore, but I feel like he'd be proud of the racing going on, especially today between Burke and Dorazio.
So we
Wait, no,
have
De Luca, my apologies.
3 more: Kyalami, Suzuka, and Spa-Francorchamps.
Spa, Franken sandwich. You're right. Yeah, so those are in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that, and 2 weeks after that. We will be wrapping this up, and hopefully you do join us next race at Kyalami.
Yep, just 3 weeks to go, and then we'll be back for another season. Will it be GT3? Maybe. Possibly. We'll find out.
Well, I mean, it's either that or GT4s, so I'm gotta say maybe it's gonna be GT3s. But anyhow, it's been good. It's been good watching this and commentating with y'all. Please join us at esr-race.org. We have a Discord. Join that. If we always love talking to you people, we keep getting new members all the time, and we just like to share our interest in racing. We do series all over the place: ACC, Race Room, Dirt Rally. Sometimes I'm really the only one that rallies there, but it's okay. Anyway, visit us there. Say hi. I'm Cole McCray. That's Ayrton Tobin. We have been excellent today.
Yep,
least I think
remember to tip your waiters and go watch Hot Rod.
Oh yeah, we should watch Hot Rod after this. Maybe. Anyhow, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.